Are you looking for food that can help give viruses and bacteria and other nasty microbes a good 1-2 punch? I'm Hannah Mason, and in this video of You Don't Know Beans, we're going to be exploring the allium family, onions and garlic, in order to boost your immune system and kill all those nasty dudes and throw them where they belong. To be perfectly honest, I had no idea that garlic and onions were even remotely related until I started gardening. Because when you see the greens, you can see them on this guy popping out of the ground, they look incredibly similar. So it turns out that garlic, chives, green onions, leeks, and these big fat onions are all part of the allium family. And alliums are really great to plant in your garden because they have such strong antimicrobial properties. They actually keep the bugs away, not just from their own plants, but from the plants that surround them, which is so cool. There's a ton of herbs that do the same thing. And when I cover herbs later in our series, you're going to get to learn about how the vast majority of herbs that people plant in their gardens actually also give bacteria and viruses and fungus that might grow in your garden or might grow in your body a 1-2 punch. So in this video, I want to focus on onion and garlic because first of all, they taste amazing. And second of all, they can kill bacteria and viruses that might come into your body so quickly. And what's really incredible about these plants is that you could even take an onion, cut it in half, and put it by your bedside, and it will start absorbing the bacteria and viruses and fungi that are in the air. This is so much the case that in Jewish tradition, if you have a cut up onion on the counter overnight, we have a tradition to not even eat it because it's going to be so ridden with bacteria, you want to just throw it away. It's like a sponge for bacteria, and you don't want that in your body. Ugh. So, what I love about these plants is that you can eat them raw, in which case they're much sharper and their antimicrobial properties are a lot stronger. For some people, that strong taste is like a little too much. So they're really, really great in soups. And one of the things that I want to give you as a tip is recipes for using onions and garlic together. So I happen to really like making homemade hummus, which some people in Western countries like to say hummus. It's not hummus, it's hummus. You got to use the phlegm. Hummus. Hummus in Hebrew actually means chickpea. And so hummus is just ground up chickpeas. And I like to put a clove or two of garlic into my hummus. It gives it an extra kick and a lot of flavor. The other thing I like to do as a replacement for oil, because a lot of people like to put oil in their foods, and I keep my oil intake to almost zero, but I still want my hummus to come out really creamy and not too pasty and thick, which chickpeas have a tendency to be a little bit pasty. So you can just add water to your hummus, but if you want it to be extra creamy, you can take an onion and either boil it or roast it until it's really soft. Throw it into your food processor along with your chickpeas and clove or two of garlic. If you have fresh parsley or oregano or marjoram or, hey, why not? Dill, I don't know. You can throw some of that, or rosemary, that's also very good. You can throw some of that into your blender as well, and you end up with a really zesty hummus. The other thing I recommend to do with onions is to saute them in water. So I mentioned that I don't like using oil because it's not a whole food. And I know people are like, wait, but what about coconut oil? And wait, but what about olive oil? So the research is really consistent that oil does more damage to our body than good. It's not a whole food. It's a partial food. It's a processed food. So people are like, yeah, but how do you cook onions and stuff like that? So this is what I do. I take an onion, I chop it up however thick or thin I want it. I put water into the frying pan, cover it, and put it on low. And while that's happening, I go do the million other things I have to do in my kitchen. So if I'm making a stir fry, for example, I get the onion going first because it's the slowest to cook. And in that water, believe it or not, the onion is going to get plenty sweet. It's going to lose its sharpness, and eventually it's going to become see-through. And at that point, I can throw in, for example, soy sauce, a little bit of date honey or maple syrup, just a dash, and then chopped up greens like kale or collard greens or Swiss chard. I take those chopped up greens, throw them into the pan that's with the onions that are already made sweet, saute for just 2 seconds until the greens become a sharp green, beautiful color, and turn off the flame. That sharp green, beautiful color is nature's way of telling us that this is the perfect level of breaking down of the cell walls to make it easy for us to digest all of the nutrients that are in the greens, and also not so much that the greens start turning brown and then we have so much breaking down that we lose a lot of the nutrients. It's that perfect in-between place. And what I find absolutely magical is that no other creature in nature cooks their food. And how is it that greens and other vegetables become more beautiful if we cook them slightly? It's almost as if like nature's giving us a really clear message that's made just for us humans, which to me is absolutely miraculous. The other thing I recommend you do is, so this is a head of what in America I think would be called elephant garlic, but this is just standard garlic here in Israel. You can take this entire head and put it into the oven exactly the way that it is, and next to other vegetables that you're roasting or by itself, turn on the oven and let it cook. And eventually it's going to roast, and you can use it instead of butter or instead of margarine or instead of tahina or hummus as a spread. And that roasted flavor is oh so rich and incredibly good for you. Really helps to support the probiotics and the bacteria, the microbiome that's in your gut, and helps to feed them and keep them strong. So hopefully you've learned some cool ideas for how you can use the allium family more in your life. And if you're looking to up your vitality game, just feel good, maybe lose weight or fight diabetes or heart disease, or maybe you just don't feel good and you're sluggish and you're looking to see how your lifestyle could affect your health outcomes, give me a buzz. So you can go to my website at hanamason.com and sign up for a free discovery session, or you can contact me via YouTube or Facebook. I look forward to hearing from you and look forward to hearing down below some recipes of what you've done to bring alliums into your life in a super delicious way. In the meantime, wishing you many little joys.
Want to find out what's blocking your vitality? Quickly take the quiz at hanamason.com/healthquiz.